Sweet. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show Coaches Show live here at the Angry Crab Shack here in Tempe, Arizona. I'm Chris Roosevelt alongside my broadcast colleague Nick Furman. And Nick, we got some HJCAC action on Saturday with the Maricopa Mustangs toppling the Salt River Scorpions. Salt River. I don't know why I like to call them the Salt Lake Scorpions.
Okay.
The Salt River Scorpions. And that's what we have in store tonight. We're going to be talking a lot of Maricopa Mustangs football. We got a couple studs in line to be on the broadcast with us here. But first, let's kind of take a little recap of the game. Pretty much a kind of it was all Maricopa, and then a rain storm kind of drew the end of that game. So kind of walk me through like what we saw on Saturday.
First, I'll talk about the league. The HJCAC League is a community college football league. Back in 2018, all the community colleges dropped their football program. In 2019, this league was started to get, in-state athletes another opportunity to further their football career if they can't go to four-year college right out of high school. So that's what that league is. But the game was the Mustangs dominating on all phases of the ball. Didn't make any mistakes. And what's funny is, head coach Madosky, he wants more from his players, more and more, and I feel like he got that against Salt River. The game ended in the third quarter because of thunder and lightning. They had to call the game. The Mustangs were up 43-0, so they called the game early, and man, the Mustangs look absolutely amazing. That I've covered them three different times, and that's probably the best they looked on offense and defense, and that defense looks amazing every game I've covered. But that one especially looked almost like it's like they knew the rain was going to come. They knew the game was going to get called in the third quarter, so they were trying to show out the entire game and not take the foot off the gas pedal, and they wanted to come out early and establish that dominance in that game.
You're absolutely right. All gas, no brakes for Maricopa on Saturday. We both covered them a couple weeks ago. This past Saturday was my second time seeing them, but we got the same exact game, Salt River and Maricopa, the first time around. And we were here on that Monday, and we actually had Coach Madosky in studio. And I remember I asked him to describe his team in one word, and he said average. Yeah. And that kind of blew me away because I was like, these guys play fast and they play physical. They're quite the team. But the way they came out on Saturday was definitely a different feel, more of an elevated feel. Now they had a couple more games under their belt, and that defense. He brings helmed by Coach Madosky himself. He brings a lot of different pressures, likes to bring a lot of different looks up the front. And another detail too is definitely their bluffs. So they bring somebody off the edge, looks like he's going to come, and then he drops back. But even a 4-man rush, 5-man rush, 6-man rush, it got home all night. I don't really remember too many passes that Salt River was able to complete. But they've had a quarterback controversy. Exactly, they've had a quarterback controversy themselves. But that Maricopa defense is I could talk all night on them.
Yeah.
And that offense too, they really got humming. Kevon Clark was unfortunately ejected right before the half, but his understudy Stephen Minabe, who we'll be talking to later on, he stepped in and no drop off there, as we saw him a little bit in the first game that we saw. But he runs fast, he runs physical.
Yeah.
All around the Mustangs, just nothing but a couple dogs on that team.
One thing about this Mustangs team, they have depth at every position. They really have that next man up mentality, to where whoever is in the game is going to bring you positivity to the team and bring you positivity on the field. So, and I talked to Madosky before the game, and he mentioned, it's raining, you got thunder, things can get interesting. Salt River was the only team to beat the Mustangs last year, and they handled business. They came ready to play. Mendosky had them locked in and focus in on the job at hand, and that was to beat Salt River. They have a bye week next week, and then I believe they play Papago, the Papago Pumas. They're 8-1, so it'll be a good matchup. But if Maricopa wins, they'll be back-to-back HJCAC conference champions, and yeah.
And you mentioned that one loss that they had to Salt River last year.
Yeah.
Definitely still seems like that fire was still burning on Saturday. We saw them have their way with them a couple weeks ago, only really giving up 2 points on a kind of an awkward situation on PAT. And this week, nothing, absolutely nothing. They've maybe crossed the 50 a couple times. My memory serves me correctly, but yeah, Maricopa just flat out dominance on Saturday, and I'm pretty sure we're going to talk to these guys in upcoming in the show, and I'm pretty sure none of them are going to be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Like, sure, we beat Salt River 43-0, but hey, job's not finished.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to Coach Mendosky describing his team as average in that one term the last time we did this show. Never really satisfied.
Yeah.
Definitely a mentality you want to preach to your team. One that I was told when I used to play in high school. I was told we get the walk to the locker room to enjoy a win, and then it's back to work for the next week. So definitely something that's installed in these guys here, and I'm excited to see their aspect of how they process the win and how they are going to come into this bye week and have the rest of their season finished off.
Right. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with coaches and player interviews here at the Angry Crab Shack.
Don't go anywhere.
For Varsity Sports, I'm Matt Ross. Alright, sports fans, let's look into basketball and the latest NBA standings. The season is still in its early stages, but we're already seeing some teams making waves. First off, how about the Cleveland Cavaliers? They're off to a red-hot start, sitting undefeated with a 5-0 record. Cleveland's young roster looks sharper than ever, and if they keep this level of play up, they could be a big contender down the stretch. Then shifting to the Boston Celtics. They're just a single game behind at 4-1, with some dominant performance to remind everyone why they're still a top dog. They might have taken one early loss, but that hasn't slowed them down. Their defense and offense are clicking well, making them as dangerous as ever. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been an unexpected force, already at 4-0. This young squad has been putting on a show, proving that they can compete with any team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the crew have been taking advantage of every opportunity on both ends of the court. Definitely a team to keep an eye on. And finally, for all the Phoenix fans out there, the Suns have a strong 3-1 start. With a revamped roster this year, they're looking focused and ready to battle it out in the Western Conference. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have found some early synergy, but it's clear that they're still building that chemistry for the long haul. Of course, it's still early in the season, so while these teams are giving us something to talk about, there's a long road ahead. We can expect plenty of movement in standings as these teams settle in and adapt and go through the highs and lows of an 82-game season.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
All right, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, Coaches Show live here at the Angry Crab Shack. I'm Christopher Zavaios alongside with the pretty much everything offensive coach Cade Warner for the Maricopa Mustangs. How are we doing today, Coach?
Doing real good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to get right into it. I understand Warner kind of sounds a little familiar around these parts. Your dad, Kurt Warner. He's a database. He's been on probably the greatest offense in NFL history. He's won a Super Bowl. He's played in 2, I want to say, off the top. But, I follow him on Twitter. And he's always talking about, I know he doesn't like pure progressions. I know that. I see that a lot.
You saw that?
Yeah. He always likes to preach it. And, he's always talking about dressing up different plays. He's really working on a film breakdown. I know he has a breakdown on Jordan Love. As a Packers fan, I can't wait to go check that out when I get home.
Yeah.
But how do you kind of use him as a database in kind of getting kick-started in your coaching career?
Yeah, that's a great question. It just all starts with how he brought me up in the football game. I think he coached me in high school. He's been coaching me all the way through, basically through college and everything, just in the field and in the film room. And just everything I know is from him. And so like you're talking about with those pure progression stuff and all the little things and the nuances and the stuff that he coaches is all that I coach too. And so it's a top-down approach. Everything that he coaches me, and I coach these guys. And so I would say I'm a little selfish for saying, but I think these guys are blessed to have a great coach. But I think it all starts with him. He's taught me everything I know, and it's easy to go to him and ask questions about how I can make a play better, how I can make a play more efficient, what I can do to add detail to a play so these guys understand what we're trying to do.
No, I'm going to ask you just a quick sidebar question. Do you like pure progressions?
No. You can ask Will. I don't think he knows what he's looking at half the time. I think he just throws it to whoever he wants to throw it to. But no, I do not like pure progression. I like an offense and a play that can attack multiple things, has answers for everything the defense is going to give us. And I think pure progression oftentimes either has you playing in the sandbox or doesn't allow you to understand what you're truly looking at instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And kind of a testament, as I said, I follow your dad on Twitter. He always likes to I saw him break down a play, and it was I forget where the look was from, but he was telling me if it's covered 2, you look at these 2 receivers. You look at the slot, look at the outside on the weak side.
Yeah.
If you get covered 3, it's going to be the tight end and this side. If it's this play, then you look at your check down first. So kind of like different matchups and stuff. How do you implement that into coaching these guys over here?
Exactly that, and I would love to hear Will's answer on this too. But I think throughout the week, throughout the game plan, there's a who, what, where, why, when about a certain play. And in that who, it's who's the primary target, who we trying to get the ball to, and in the what, it's what coverage do we like it against. And in front side concept, maybe it's more versus middle open look, and our backside concept more versus middle close. So the quarterbacks, at least they should know, I'm telling them enough, but they should know where to go with the ball, where it's 1 high, 2 high, where's their hot, what we're thinking on each and every play. And so that's what I'm trying to instill in these guys is once they understand and they can look at a field and basically just count numbers and find space, the game can slow down so much more. But the quarterback position is such a tough place to be when you don't know where you're looking. And you see that in the NFL all the time nowadays. A lot of sloppy football, a lot of late balls, a lot of quarterbacks that, like you say, with the progression, it doesn't allow you to get the ball out on time because with these guys, like we're talking, if you see a 2 high versus a 1 high play, and now you have answers to both, but now with the pure progression, you're forced to start with one side until you can work backside to the 2 high side. You're just going to be late on everything. And so giving these guys the tools and the ability to be successful for any look they got to get, I think is the true testament to a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator.
Absolutely, and I kind of want to get into to your upbringing a little bit. So I understand you were with Kansas State in 22 and a couple years prior to that, but in your final season, 22 Big 12 championship team, and you guys played a lot of teams in the Big 12, including that 2022 TCU team. So obviously you've seen a lot of top programs in the college football world. How do you use that experience into your coaching career?
Yeah, I think that the first off with all those great programs and really not so great programs I was a part of, it's just the culture and how much culture matters and how much detail matters in everything you do. Truman Carroll was my coach, strength conditioning coach at Kansas State, and he said, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I think that's so true in football and in life. And so I tell these guys, I could talk to them every day after practice and just scream at them and tell them something else that I learned through my longer football career, very short NFL career. But it's stuff I could tell them about just motivation and how life's not going to be easy and how there's going to be trials and tribulations and how do you accomplish those and all these things. And I try not to overtalk to them because I feel like sometimes they'll just shut me out. So I usually about once a week is where I usually end up. But there's so many things that I wish that bigger than football I instill in these kids before they move on. Obviously I want all these kids to be successful and go on and play at 4-year schools and go to the league and accomplish all their dreams in between those white lines. But I think all that is second to none to helping these kids become better men, become better future husbands, become better just people. And I think that's more than anything I hope what these kids take away from me being their coach is, yeah, I love football more than anything. But being a good person, being a good Christian, being a good man, a good husband is so much more important. I think that all is based and wrapped around the culture of the team. And if you do that and put the team first and you do the right things and you have good moral character and good work ethic, I think all that stuff encompasses a good football team.
And then kind of expanding on your college career, so Big 12 championship, probably a big stage, one of the bigger stages in football itself. So from going from that level to coming to coach at this level, what draws you to the junior college level?
Yeah, that's a great question. So last year I got cut from the Tempe Buccaneers and knew that I still wanted to be a part of football. I still had that itch to scratch. And Coach Monson and Coach Madasi were nice enough to give me the blessing to come and coach these guys last year. So last year I came and coached these guys with the ideology that, hey, I'll be here with you guys as long as I can, but the NFL is going to call me sooner or later, so don't fall in love with me yet. NFL didn't call, and now this year rolls around, and now it's more of a, hey, I'm going to be here for this season. I'm using this as a stepping stool to get where I want to go. I want to go and coach in the NFL and do great things. But what draws me to this level is that these kids are fun to be around, and these kids enjoy the game, and they enjoy life in certain angles, and it's just fun to be at the top of the top and then be down with this level and be with these kids and just give them the insight that I wish I had at their level.
And then from a schematic standpoint, as you said, you want to branch out in your coaching career, hopefully reach the NFL. From an ideology standpoint and a schematic standpoint, who really influenced you in harnessing that schematic standpoint that you like to you're crafting?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, my dad coached me all the way growing up. So a lot of the stuff I know is through him. And then you just kind of keep on learning new things and tweaking things. And as I went to K-State or Nebraska or the Buccaneers or my UFL team or this team, you just slowly start tweaking it and changing it and making it your own. But I think all of it at the core is from my father. And then from that, you just kind of tweak it and make it your own and do some cool things. And so I think we've done a good job of taking that offense that we started at the beginning of the year and molding it to something a little bit more new, a little bit more efficient, a little bit more effective by the end of the season.
And then just real quick, lastly, if you can describe your team's performance up to this point in the season in one word, what would that word be?
Oh, wow. The performance all season?
Yeah.
I'd say it's average. I think we've done a lot of good things offensively, but they know these guys every week we should have scored 50 points, and we didn't. And that's a testament to me. It's my fault. But I think that we've done a lot of great things. But in terms of where this team could have gone, or really where this team should have gone and how successful we should have been, I would say average. But I still love these guys, and they've had a great season. Obviously, we're undefeated, so we're doing something right.
That's funny. I asked Coach Madasi a couple weeks ago, and he said the same exact
He said
word.
average?
Yeah.
There you go. Culture.
Nonetheless, this was Cade Warner here live on the Varsity Sports Show, Coach's Show. I'm Christopher Zavalos. We're going to take a quick break, so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Olivia Prickett from the Cronkite School at Arizona State University, reporting to you for the Varsity Sports Show on the incredible season that Sun Devil Volleyball has had in their first year in the Big 12. Now let's dive right in. The Sun Devils have had an outstanding go in both preseason and conference play. Now it's nothing new that this team is filled with both strength and high athleticism, but we can't forget to give credit to head coach JJ Van Niel, who has led the team to where they stand at this point in the season. Van Niel took the reins in 2023 and truly turned the program around. It wasn't until last season that the Sun Devils started to win more games than they lost, finishing last season 28-7. Now there's some deja vu from last season that we could see in this season. The Sun Devils are on an 8-game winning streak, which started with their win against Utah on October 2nd. Last season, they started their season with a 12-game winning streak, which ended with a loss to number 3 Stanford. Their home record for the 2023 season was 9-1, their only loss being against the number 5 Oregon Ducks. Now this season, their record is 9-0 as of October 28th, and their only loss in the Big 12 is against number 19 Baylor. They couldn't have an overall record of 20-2 without a star-studded roster. Senior outside Jelly Sear has led the offense with 270 kills, and graduate libero Mary Schroll has held her own on the back line with 372 digs on the season. Sear and Schroll have also won Big 12 offensive and defensive honors, tallying a total of 4 for the Sun Devils this season. Keep your eye on the Sun Devils women's volleyball team as they are set to make their mark in the postseason. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Olivia Prickett.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
Furman here at the Hjcac for the Varsity Sports Show Coach Show. I'm here with the starting quarterback of the Maricopa Mustangs, Will Howell. How you doing, Will?
I'm good. How are you?
Tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from? How old are you?
I'm from Tucson. I'm 18 years old. I just moved up here with my teammate Stephen Meneby about 6 months ago, and we just came out here to play some ball, go to college, and see what happens from there.
So how has the season gone for you currently?
It's going well.
How do you believe the season's gone for you?
It's going well. I started week 4 or week 5, and from then I'm just been playing ball and trusting my teammates to go out there and make plays for me. That's all I can do.
Right. So originally you weren't the starting quarterback. There was kind of a quarterback battle even at the first game that I covered. I think Medoski played 3 quarterbacks. What was your mindset during that? As you have to stay ready. So when your number is called, that you go out and perform.
Yeah, just like you said, I got to stay ready and just ready for my opportunity whenever, and whenever that opportunity comes, I'm there to take it.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You got hurt your senior year of high school?
Yeah, my first game. Tore my ACL.
So your whole first game of the year, you tore your ACL. What was that like for you?
That hurt. I put a lot of work before that season, and just for it to fall short, but that got me to where I am today. So.
Your coach wanted me to ask you this. What are you seeing out there? Out on the field while the play is going, and what are you seeing from the defenses?
Well, I like to read top down, so I like to look at the safeties first and go down to the backers in the box, and then just read from there. That's pre-snap. And then post-snap, just see how they're rotating, and, just make a play off of that.
Right. So, and also, like you said, you started week 4. What was going through your mind? Because Medoski told you 5 minutes before the game. What was going through your mind before that?
I was just ready for whatever, and, situations like that happen a lot. So, I was just ready to play.
And so that was the first game, and I did your game this past Saturday. In my opinion, you've progressed so much, more. Like your first game, you looked very calm and poised in the pocket. In this game, you even looked more poised and more calm in the pocket and delivered, great passes. You threw. I said this during the broadcast. You threw an absolute dot to Terrence Hall on 4th and 15.
Yeah.
You rolled out to your left, threw an absolute dime. What was going into your mind on that going in, walking up to the line of scrimmage, because it was 4th and long.
Yeah.
These guys scored. What was going through your mind? What was going through your mind when the ball was in the air? What was your, what was going through your mind after Terrence caught the football?
Yeah. Well, definitely in that situation, I'm looking for the playmakers on the field, and so Terrence Hall is definitely one of those guys. So, especially on 4th down, I'm looking for him, number 7. And so at that point, it's just trusting your guys to make a play for you, and that's what happened.
Nice. Anything this is your first year at Maricopa,
yes,
correct?
Sir.
And do you plan on returning next year?
I'm not sure. We'll see with the recruiting. Ultimately the goal of this is to get out of here. But if I have to come back, I'm willing to do so.
What is your goal? Are you thinking Division I, Division II?
Of course, I think
III?
that should be everybody's goal. To go D1, and if it's not, then it's not. But we'll see what happens.
Anything outside of practice that you work on to make yourself better on game days?
I'm obviously throwing a lot. I throw a lot during the weeks, even during the off season. So I just keeping that arm in tune, ready for the season.
All right. So what has been your favorite moment so far
of this year?
Yeah.
I'd probably say the last game we just played. I know I just had a lot of fun out there. I think everybody did. We came out with a lot of energy, and so game days are always the best days.
Right. What has been your, like you said, you tore your ACL. What was it like to suit up for the first start of the year for you?
Oh, it was really exciting, and really for the first scrimmage we had, that when I first went in, it was a lot to take in emotionally as well, because I haven't been on the field in a year, especially since tearing my ACL. So it was a lot to take in, but I was excited. I was ready for the opportunity.
Right, and like you said, you're running back Stephen Meneby, your former teammate. What was it like to play with him again? Because you might have thought after you tore your ACL that this was going to be the last time you played with him.
Yeah.
And what's it like this year? You're getting another year to play with him.
It was great. We played all 4 years throughout the high school, and we both tore our ACL senior year, actually. So we were kind of bonded, like we went through the same thing, the same rehab process, and we both have a love for the game, and so it was fun.
Right. So since you didn't go through that experience alone, would you say that helped you in not going into, I'll be honest, not going into a dark place?
Right.
Not playing football your senior year, your final year under Friday Night Lights. So would you say that helped out?
Most definitely, most definitely. I had somebody right there going through the same thing as me, so it just made it a lot easier.
Nice. So you got the bye week,
Mhm.
and then you have your last game, and then if you guys win that, you'll be champions,
Right.
back-to-back champions. What's your mindset going into this bye week and getting ready for that last game?
I'm just saying we're prepared, prepared for anything. We already beat this team before, Papago, and so we're ready to just come and play some ball.
All right, and also from the first time you played Salt River to the second time, was there any differences you noticed in the Scorpions defense, or was it the same thing you saw from the first matchup?
I feel like the first time we played them, they were a lot more aggressive in the box, bringing more pressure, and I think this game they played off a little bit. So it was a little more of a slowing down process for me, just taking my time back there in the pocket.
Right. All right. Well, we'll be back with more interviews here at the Angry Crab Chat. Thank you for listening, and don't go anywhere.
Hello everyone, this is Saleh Awad with the Varsity Sports Show, and I would like to thank you for tuning in today. While the Arizona Wildcats' football team has continued to disappoint this season, a bright part of the year has been star wide receiver Tedero T-Mac McMillan. Through 8 games, McMillan has totaled 57 receptions for 982 yards and 5 touchdowns through the air. With 2 games over 200 receiving yards this season, T-Mac has shown nothing short of pure dominance when he gets his targets. The projected top 10 NFL draft pick leads the Big 12 in receiving yards during the program's first season in the conference. Along with Colorado's Heisman contender Travis Hunter and Missouri receiver Luther Burden III, McMillan is among the top wideout prospects that will be taken early in April's draft. Despite Arizona quarterback Noah Fafita and the offense's struggles under first-year head coach Brett Brennan, T-Mac has produced regardless of opposing defenses planning for him week in and week out. With 4 games remaining this season and likely in his entire college football career, McMillan will look to finish strong. For the Varsity Sports Show, this is Saleh Awad reporting.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
All right, everybody, we're back here on the Varsity Sports Show, Coaches Show, live here at the Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, Arizona. I'm Christopher Zavaios alongside Jalen Stanford. Jalen, we're going to get right into it. I'm under the impression you have a nickname. You want to tell me about the nickname and what it is?
The nickname I got is Sticks, and something that Coach Mendowski gave me when I first got to the team because of my stature, how small I am. And, it's just something that I embraced, something that I felt was pretty cool, honestly, like to have a nickname, first coming on to the team. And, that's just been me the whole season.
And, we're sitting here today, and I've seen you guys on 2 different occasions, and both were against Salt River. And honestly, I don't really have that much of a look on the secondary part of your guys' defense because the defensive front is really kind of taking care of business and doesn't really allow that many deep passes down. But nonetheless, so kind of how do you feel about your defensive effort as a whole? You guys are pretty dominant as a unit, and just watching you guys, just the different blitzes and stuff that you guys bring up front. How do you kind of fit into that whole equation?
I feel like our defense is really solid. We come out every game just knowing that we're going to dominate. And like you said, our D-line, shout out to them. They get back there. They do their job for us, secondary, so we don't really have to do much. But, I feel like we've had a really good season as a whole defensive unit, and I feel like we're sound, we're physical, and, we help the team win.
So as you know, you're a free safety, right? You like to sit. Oh, you sit over top, and
Yes, sir.
you're pretty much the security blanket for
Yeah.
the rest of the defense. How do you model your game after anybody? You watch tape on a certain player that you feel like you are kind of either staturally or schematically similar to, or
Um, my favorite safety is Buda Baker. He's really a strong safety, but I like to try to model my tackling and my mentality after him. He's always said that he's just not scared of anybody. He likes to come down and hit. He's fearful. He plays fast, physical, and so I just, as tackling wise, I just want to be like him.
And I understand you're from Cesar Chavez High School, a pretty
Yes,
good
sir.
program.
Yeah.
I got to look at them the other night on this past Friday. How did it feel coming out of that program? How did that program prepare you to come to this level?
They actually prepared me a lot. The recent head coach, Coach Ducey, he was my coach, and I was back there at safety. My DB coach, Coach Sco, he was really helpful in that. I had a transition coming into my senior year from receiver to safety, and, it was just something that I embraced. I was like, if this is what's going to get me to the next level, then, I'm going to take it, and I just worked really hard and got to where I am now.
And so you just said you switched from receiver to safety. How did that transition go for you?
It went pretty smoothly. At first, I did have some thoughts that I hated it, the position change. I was really in tune to being a receiver. But, like I said, if it was going to get me to the next level, then I was going to work hard. I was going to try my best at it. I was going to embrace it, and I did that, and now I love it.
Absolutely. And do you get any receiver reps now, or is it just strictly free safety?
Strictly safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're fully committed then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And, Buda Baker is a great idol to have. I think I saw a clip of Coach Mike Tomlin with the Steelers kind of describing him like, yo, that dude Buda Baker's a dog.
Yeah.
So, and he can hit. He can hit. Do you think you bring a physicality or a speed aspect to the free safety position?
I think I do bring a physicality to the free safety. If you watch the games, you watch the film, I can really hit for my size. And then obviously that's something I'm working towards, is getting my size bigger and just bringing my physicality more to the team.
And then you guys are coming into a bye week this week, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you guys have a game in the following week. Do you guys play Papago?
Yes, sir.
So they're an 8-1 team, I understand. They're 1 losses to you guys.
Yeah.
What's your guys' mentality going into that as a defense?
As a defense, we've played their offense before. Last game, we did have some trouble at the beginning of the game, and we worked through it, we talked over it, and we got back to our regular defense. And so our mentality coming into this game is just to start off dominant, start off the game, getting pressure, getting stops, quick outs, 3-and-outs, getting our offense the ball.
All right, and you guys are undefeated this season so far. Do you guys feel like are you guys satisfied with that, or what else are you guys looking to get?
No, yeah, we're looking to get this last win, stay undefeated, just looking to get to be better as a team on the film, and as players. So, yeah.
And then I asked your coach, Warner, in the previous segment the same question. Up to this point in the season, obviously you guys are undefeated. You guys are looking for more. If you could describe your team's performance in one word, what would that word be?
I would say it'd have to be dominant.
Dominant?
Yeah, we come out every game and we just dominate. We just come with that mentality that we're going to win, and we know we're going to win, and we show that on the field and in practice against each other. So,
like I said, I asked him the same question. He said that word was average. And I asked Coach Podolsky the same question a couple weeks ago, and he said average. Is that kind of what does that do to you guys as a team?
I feel like how they put it is from a coaching standpoint. So, and obviously they have more experience than we do, so they probably know more. But as players, we just take into consideration to do better, and to work harder and to show them that we can be dominant.
Absolutely, and yeah, I was pretty shocked when I first heard that from Coach Podolsky. I was just like, you guys have allowed this many sacks in this many games.
Yeah.
Like, you guys only allowed 2 points on a PAT in the last game. You guys allowed 0 points in this game. That kind of took me back, but it's definitely a humbling aspect. As you said, they look from it for a coach's standpoint, so of course they're always going to try something else to nitpick and try and make better. So for sure. And thank you for your time today, Jalen. I'm Christopher Zavas with the Varsity Sports Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hello everyone, this is Saleh Awad with the Varsity Sports Show, and I would like to thank you for tuning in today. While the Arizona Wildcats' football team has continued to disappoint this season, a bright part of the year has been star wide receiver Tedero T-Mac McMillan. Through 8 games, McMillan has totaled 57 receptions for 982 yards and 5 touchdowns through the air. With 2 games over 200 receiving yards this season, T-Mac has shown nothing short of pure dominance when he gets his targets. The projected top 10 NFL draft pick leads the Big 12 in receiving yards during the program's first season in the conference. Along with Colorado's Heisman contender Travis Hunter and Missouri receiver Luther Burden III, McMillan is among the top wideout prospects that will be taken early in April's draft. Despite Arizona quarterback Noah Fafita and the offense's struggles under first-year head coach Brett Brennan, T-Mac has produced regardless of opposing defenses planning for him week in and week out. With 4 games remaining this season and likely in his entire college football career, McMillan will look to finish strong. For the Varsity Sports Show, this is Saleh Awad reporting.
This weekend, it's showdown time as Arizona State travels to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Both teams head into this week with something to prove. ASU is coming off a bye, while the Oklahoma State Cowboys are looking to bounce back after a 38-28 loss to Baylor. ASU, led by Kenny Dillingham, has surprised many with their 5-2 record so far. However, starting quarterback Sam Levitt has been recovering from a rib injury the last 2 weeks. Here's what head coach Kenny Dillingham had to say ahead of this Saturday.
It's one of those, we got to see him practice and stuff like that. But he's cleared to play. He wants to play. He's excited about playing. He's been putting in a lot of work to play. So we'll see how that transpires.
Oklahoma State will be led by quarterback Alan Bowman. While their offense has performed consistently, defense has struggled throughout the season under new defensive coordinator Brian Nardo, especially last week with 21 missed tackles against Baylor. Here's what head coach Mike Gundy had to say about ASU ahead of this week.
They run a very similar style to what most of those teams have been doing in the Pac, whatever conference that's not there anymore. That league, he runs that very similar style of defense, and they're doing a good job with it. You can see the improvement in year 2 with their team.
Saturday is a big test for ASU, where a win could mean serious possibility of a bowl game appearance for the Sun Devils. Tune in for a 4 p.m. kickoff in Oklahoma this Saturday. Reporting for Varsity Sports, Layla Ruderman.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
The Arizona Cardinals have won consecutive games for the first time since October 24th of 2021. It was another comeback effort for the Cardinals as they faced a 10-point deficit in the third quarter, coming all the way back to win 28-27 over the Miami Dolphins. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride led the way for the Cardinals offense, combining for 235 receiving yards. The rookie sensation was also able to find the end zone for the first time since Week 4 against the Commanders. The Cardinals now sit atop the NFC West with a 4-4 record, having the tiebreaker over the San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks. The Cardinals now face an NFC North challenge as they will be welcoming in the 4-3 Chicago Bears. The Bears, who are coming off of a devastating loss to the Commanders as Jaden Daniels completed a last-second Hail Mary to Noah Brown for the win, the Bears are looking to get that bad taste out of their mouths and get back in the win column. The Bears have one of the league's toughest defenses, as they only allow 17 points per game compared to the Cardinals, who allow 25.6 points per game. The key to this game will be who can win the turnover battle, as both teams have a positive turnover differential heading into Week 9. The Cardinals are just a slight 1-point favorite, as this matchup is lined up to be very tightly contested. Reporting for Varsity Sports, I'm Sam Lanier.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Nick Furman here at the Angry Crab Shack for the Varsity Sports Show Coaches Show. With me is Stephen Minabe, one of the running backs for the Maricopa Mustangs. Stephen, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing quite great. I hope your day's been going well.
It's been going pretty good, man.
That's blessed.
All right. So you guys are off to, you're undefeated so far. You got a bye week. You got one more game left. What are you going to do to, prepare and help your team get to that perfect season and back-to-back conference championships?
Ultimately, I'm going to keep on doing my job, and that job is making sure I bring what I can to make sure we win, whether it's on offense and now defense since I got the opportunity. But that all starts with the practice and making sure my energy is 100% all the time. So I'm just going to keep on doing what we do and keep doing the job as it's supposed to get done.
So you're playing defense now also?
Yeah, I got an opportunity, got a shot at it in the last game.
Oh, I thought I saw that.
Yeah.
I thought that was you for a second. But, at college they have the same numbers on offense and defense. I just didn't know. So what position are you playing on defense now?
I got to play linebacker since it was kind of similar to what I played insert strong safety in high school. So It wasn't anything unfamiliar. Still able to make some plays while I had to.
Yeah, what's it like to play for Modoski's defense on how dominant it's been all year, and now you're a part of it?
It's definitely exciting because even though I'm a running back, defense is just like that type of like surreal feeling you get to experience. And with me being under Modoski, it's like it's type of discipline and like being able to do the things that they do and keep things moving as it's supposed to go.
You get to be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of this is legendary defense. The numbers they put up is pretty insane.
Man, shoot, they be scoring touchdowns like we do. Oh, come on.
All right. So, so you went to high school with your quarterback, Will Howell.
Yes, sir.
You both tore your ACLs.
Yes, sir.
Senior year. When did you tear yours, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, completely fine. I tore mine 5 games, 4 games after his, halfway through the season. And, yeah, it was definitely an experience because, like, seeing him tear his and then seeing me go – because, like, me and him were the sophomores going throughout varsity the whole year, became, like, the automatic captain. So it's like I'm playing, but at the same time I noticed I didn't, like, have that same edge. I wasn't as grateful. But especially after tearing my ACL, I noticed that you have to be able to be grateful and, like, cherish every single moment that you have on the field or with your teammates, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. And what was it like to suit up for the first time? Like, for him, it was the scrimmage. For you, week 1, game 1, what was it like to suit up again and, play the sport you love, I'm assuming, since you're still playing?
Exactly. It was nostalgic, definitely, especially being able to do what I did in the first game. It's like it gives you that feeling knowing that you still got it and that you're still able to perform at a high level.
Right. And, I asked him this. You both tore your ACLs. Did it help going through that with someone else who you're close with? He is your quarterback. Did it help you not get into that, that dark place because you're not playing the sport you love?
Yeah.
You almost don't know what to do with yourself because it's football season. There's nothing else going on besides football. So it's like, what was to just help out a lot going through it with, your quarterback and Will?
Yeah, I was able to relate on different accounts with many things and, like, also get advice and, like, on different things that I'm experiencing. So it's like I'm not having to feel down or, like, feel worried about my recovery. He, like, let me know that everything's going to be all right. Once we get back to it, we're going to be 100% or even better.
Right. And what's been your favorite moment of the year so far?
Definitely. I think it'll definitely have to be seeing him get that QB1 position. Because, like, especially seeing him from my freshman year coming out, it's like I always known that he got it. So, like, when I see that the coaches know he got it too, everyone's going to start eating.
Right. Who's your favorite running back in the league
league right now?
Or you could do league right now or ever.
I mean, honestly, especially because of my size and, like, kind of my play style, I'm going to have to say Derrick Henry.
Okay.
He's just a beast, and I'm trying to be a bigger beast than that.
Yeah, you are because I've seen you play 3 times. I've noticed that like Kavon Clark's kind of the speed guy,
Yeah,
and
no.
he's lightning, you're thunder.
It's like that Gibbs and Montgomery, that duo,
yeah.
that Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah. So what is it like to kind of have that duo in the backfield?
I mean, it's definitely a blessing because I see how Kavon plays, and like especially when it coming from Centennial High School, a good strong high school. I'm able to learn a lot and also like apply those different things to my running game, and like seeing how he goes and then seeing how I go. We're all like every time we're in, it's a benefit. No losses.
Right. So the question that keeps circulating around this Maricopa team, what would you say your team's performance in one word has been so far this year?
I would say our performance in one word would be beneficial.
Okay.
Because I say that in a way that there definitely has been our doubts and like our struggles. We're trying to make the team a team as one, but definitely beneficial in a way whereas the players who deserve it and the players who are hungry for it, they're getting what they want, they're getting what they deserve and like what they need to be able to go to the next level or like essentially out of Maricopa because we're coming to JUCO not to stay but to go to a bigger and higher level.
All right. Well, thank you for being here on
Yes,
this
sir.
Monday.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Me and Chris will be here at the Angry Crab Shack doing our wrap-up. Thank you.
All right.
This is Kaylee Summer Varsity Sports Show, and I'm going to be talking about Estrella Foothill pulls away late to defeat Buckeye. Senior running back A.J. Horn rushed 24 times for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns to help propose the Wolves to a 32-14 field on Friday night. Estrella Foothills secured its first win over the Hawks since 2020 after losing 4 straight times. So I can't wait to see what Estrella Foothills does this season. This is Kaylee Summer Varsity Sports Show signing off.
Hey, it's Jameer Johnson reporting with the Varsity Sports Show and Arizona State University from Indianapolis. Today, we'll be talking about the top high school football games going on in Indiana. This Friday, we will have the number 2 ranked high school football team, the Lawrence North Wildcats, going against the number 16th ranked Lawrence Central Bears. This game will be a home game for Lawrence Central, but they will need to give it all they have to try and end the Lawrence North Wildcats 9-0 undefeated season. Currently, the Wildcats have had mostly away games and going 6-0 for away games and 3-0 for their home games. Also, the Lawrence North Wildcats are averaging 225 passing yards per game and 86 tackles. Also, the matchup between the number 1 ranked high school football team in Indiana, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, and the number 24 ranked team, the Avon Orioles, will be happening. This will be a home game for the Avon Orioles, and currently they have a 2-2 record for their home games, while the Brownsburg Bulldogs are 4-1 for away games. However, the Bulldogs have a 8-1 record. The Avon Orioles may have an advantage because it is their home game and the Orioles are on a 2-game winning streak, and although the Bulldogs may have the better record, the Bulldogs' last game was a loss. Check back in for updates about the top high school football games happening this week. This has been Jameer Johnson reporting with Arizona State University and the Varsity Sports Show, broadcasting from Indianapolis.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
All right, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, Coaches Show, live here at the Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Just kind of wrapping things up here, Nick. Any final thoughts from the game we called on Saturday and what we heard from the guys here tonight?
Man, no, not really. I mean, you can definitely tell that they're a team. They're together. They're not just guys trying to get film and trying to get out of here. They're playing for one another. And the one thing that I kind of caught, but I didn't officially know just because of, the game ended early and we weren't able to do post-game interviews. Stephen Minabe's playing both sides of the ball now, and which is, that's impressive, especially, that looks good on tape. That looks good on, on recruiting. You're showing recruits that put me on the field, I will make a play. Well, last time we were on the show, I said that's what you call a football player. Just put them out on the field. They're going to have a positive impact for your team in any shape or form, and it showed with Steven, playing linebacker, and he's part of that insane defense and then insane front seven from Maricopa.
Absolutely, yeah. They're definitely a humbled group for sure. I got a little kick out of Coach Warner saying the same term describing the team, which was average, by the way. Definitely here humbling as I talked to Mr. Stanford over here. He said dominant. So definitely a player and coach's perspective of that. Maricopa definitely on a hot streak. I'm excited for the game that we're going to get on Friday. Mountain View and Red Mountain, which should be a pretty good one. Red Mountain in the open conversation around here. But, that's on Friday, so really looking forward to that. Don't forget to miss that, one of the stops on our Friday takeovers that we have here on the Varsity Sports Show. So thank you for joining us here tonight. I'm Christopher Zavaios alongside my broadcast colleague Nick Furman here, live at the Angry Crab Shack here in Tempe. We're having a party. It's a party here at the Angry Crab Shack on a Monday night.
It's the new outro music.
Outro. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We are live at the Angry Crab Shack once again. Thank you for joining us. This is the Varsity Sports Show, Coaches Show.